like a bad dream. A nightmare from which I know there's no awakening. I don't know how much longer I can take the spectacle. Has the whole world gone mad?
Now, I must emphasize that we've been unable to develop a cure to combat this disorder, and that we can offer only the following preventative measures.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Heyo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Boogeyman Radio. I am Dave.
I'm Charles. On the other side.
I keep forgetting you over there.
Yeah, come on now. What are you doing?
What are we doing here, boys? Oh, man.
Fantastic.
I missed being on last week.
I know. Everybody missed you. Except you were in the chats. It was fine.
I was there. I was.
You were there in spirit.
I got to pick on you somehow, and I couldn't be there. I couldn't just be the voice of God on the.
Oh, don't worry. Cassie and Jerry and Jess and everybody else. Everybody was picking on me. It's fine. It's cool.
We held them in check. Fist bump everybody right here.
Of course. They have to, right?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Everybody's being good. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I know mine was pretty good.
How's that mouth doing?
What, Charles?
That's what Cassie just said. How's your mouth? I'm just
Don't kiss
repeating
and
what
tell.
she said. Jeez, leave me
God,
alone.
Charles. This
He's
is
just
a family show.
He's feeling left over from the road trip, guys. It's fine.
Feeling a little naked now.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. You start having all these mouth problems after the road trip. That makes so much sense.
You really got back there.
Says a lot. No, I'm kidding. I hope the wasn't too loud. Oh gosh.
Oh, Lord. So anyway, guys.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I've got stitches back there. Most of them ripped out on Thanksgiving. So
Well, that sucks. Shouldn't eat so hard.
well, I've been eating. Yeah. I'm eating solids again.
Got any dry socket?
No.
That's good.
No, but I do have a piece of skin that was supposed to be sewed down.
A little flap.
It's now up and it's pulling the side down.
I'm sorry. That just sounds horrible. Yeah.
It's not as bad as it sounds. I can sit there and flick it with my tongue and stuff. It's
a texture thing for me. I don't know.
It's like having chewed gum back there.
God, that would just get so annoying and
it doesn't stretch or nothing. It's whatever. But no dry socket. So I'm pretty fortunate on that.
That's good. Yeah.
So, but I am planning as soon as the new year kicks in, my medical rolls over and all my dental stuff rolls over, going back, getting some more done, more work done.
Hello, Kelly. Good to see you.
Probably get some dental implants.
Oh, fun fact. I can't put chats on the thing. So that's all you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just so you know.
I'll be in control of the chats. Hey, guys.
Yeah, sorry, everybody. I would help out with the chats, but the computer told me that I needed to log in. So
Charles never remembers to log in.
Why would I?
Neither do I.
When I press remember computer, why would it kick me out? Anyways, whatever. So we just got to change everything. But I had to work late tonight, so I got home a little bit later, which kind of didn't have a lot of time. So it's no big deal.
What is this? All right. It's a Dell.
What?
Why would it not remember? It's a Dell.
It's a Dell. It's a Dell.
Anyway, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was really good. I spent it with my sister's in-laws, my brother-in-law's side of the family. It was really nice. Josh. So Josh's brother-in-law. Josh is my brother-in-law. His brother-in-law, Chris, not related to me.
I feel like I should have a whiteboard up here and just
it's brothers, cousins, nephews. Yeah. No, Chris is an amazing cook. Seriously, any chance that I get to go have food that he creates, delicious. So I was very, very happy. I mean, I don't know, man. It was fantastic. The last few Thanksgivings that I've tried to do for myself just obviously isn't as good. More spread, people bring more food and stuff, but
Yeah.
It was a great time. Had a blast. Came home and just pretty much relaxed the rest of the weekend. It was not the weekend, but that night mainly. With my mom and dad being out of town and stuff, I spent it with my sister and them. So it was really nice. It was good.
Good deal.
Yeah, can't complain.
Nobody got arrested. Nobody got.
Not that I know of. Yeah, not that I know of. I know Josh went to the Chiefs game the next day, but I'm sure everything was fine there.
Well, he's the reason that fumble happened.
Yeah, no kidding. Like literally the luckiest team in the NFL.
Facts.
Dude,
we're gonna see if that carries them all the way through.
I'm with how much that is. Like my other cousin, he's just like they're so lucky. It's got to be rigged. Like it's so lucky. It's blatantly out there, and I'm like, okay, I get that, but that's kind of the point of luck, right? Like.
To be rigged?
No. Lucky, like if you're the luckiest team, you're gonna have lucky strikes. Like to me, our luck is now carried over because Mahomes hasn't been performing that well this season. I'd say this is probably his worst season. Just saying. Yeah. He is not performed like he has been. Now, most of the time when we made it like pretty far in the season, it was because some crazy Mahomes stuff, right? Well, mostly this season, it hasn't been crazy Mahomes stuff. It's been just random holy cow moments. Yeah. So for me, like, how far can that luck get us, right? Obviously, it didn't get us with the Bills. I knew we were going to lose that game. Like, it was very obvious. Yeah. Like, it's going to happen. Plus, we may be the luckiest team, but we're also one of the most injured teams, too. We've lost a lot of people, I feel like. But anyways.
You got people coming back. You're good.
I know. I'm so thankful, but you need whiteboard for family. He's tired. Yeah, no, I agree, Jess. Especially with the kid and another one coming. He's getting a third now. Man, if he's got a third kid means a third ring. It's destined, right?
I wasn't here last week to really voice anything because we had those complaints about because we talk a lot at the beginning of the show.
I don't care. Yeah, and I don't care.
I wanted to tell those people, fuck you.
Yeah. You don't want to listen. Don't want to listen.
That's it. That's all I had to say.
That's fine. It's fine. Nobody likes this. It's
done.
Fine.
Done with this. Done with this whole cover.
I will say I was impressed that we had 2 videos back to back over 100.
100
though. Yeah. I was pretty impressed. I was like, is YouTube changing its ways?
See, maybe you flex in there.
Yeah. No. Well, and the latest video got a couple more views within the last day or so. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah. So what happens when you show a little skin, Charles?
I showed a lot of skin last Monday,
My jaw still hurts.
I was all by myself. Like I did it all. I did a solo vid and everything. Yeah, exactly. Sure the gals didn't mind. Jerry probably was mortified, but it's fine.
Jerry
get it?
He barely remembers it.
Probably.
You're not supposed to mix pills and alcohol, Jerry.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on.
That's what happened to Matthew Perry. Anyway.
Hey, speaking of Hollywood.
Speaking of Hollywood.
Wait, did we get into your Thanksgiving besides the tooth problems?
Oh, mine was all right. One family member got arrested.
Oh, that's good.
Our head coach got fired. So
I said Bears suck. It's fine.
We don't suck. We just didn't want to play for that coach.
That's fair. That's totally fair. College ball has been blowing my mind, dude. It's been nuts. I agree. Anyways, we don't have to talk too much about NFL. Oh my gosh. You know what really was crazy was the Trevor Lawrence hit. Oh my God, dude. I thought he was
It happens.
I know football. It happens.
That same linebacker sucker punched one of the Bears players.
Dude's clearly got a hot head. Needs to go. Anyways,
anyway,
let's get into it. Let's talk about Hollywood.
Well, we will. I want to say I stumbled upon this channel, this YouTube channel. The guy basically all he does is talk about paranormal drama.
Oh,
I'm not gonna plug his channel, but I've been checking out his stuff. Did you know that Twin Paranormal, their Twitter account got hijacked and is being held for ransom?
Sorry, don't mean to laugh, but no, I did not know that.
Gets worse. Was it the day before Thanksgiving? Their house got broken into and a bunch of stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, that's unfortunate.
And right now, and of course, TikTok's not working with them to get their account back or anything.
Wow.
So-
Wait. Oh, it was TikTok's.
It was
Oh,
TikTok,
I thought
Twitter.
you said Twitter.
Not
Yeah,
Twitter.
okay.
It was TikTok. Their TikTok account. Is being held ransom.
That's wild.
Everybody thought it was a publicity stunt, and then their house got broken into and stuff. And
Oh man, that's wild. That
so they're
sucks.
going through it right now.
Hackers, man.
They're going through it.
Either hackers or so. Did the lockdown of the account happen before or after the break-in?
Do I know?
Their account was held for ransom, right? Did it happen before? Okay, there. Then they probably got the address and all that stuff from when they hacked.
Yeah, they got all their information, like cell phone numbers, all that stuff.
Oh,
Because
so
of
bad.
that's how you have to back up on TikTok, and you have to have your
Oh,
cell phone connected to it. And yeah, they got all their information.
scary.
Luckily, their bank accounts weren't depleted and,
That's
and
good.
stuff like that.
Well, yeah, your digital footprint is just. I'm sure our we've all gathered some sort of major digital. That's why we're a data asset. We're a digital asset now. We're looked at for our data. That's how it is. Like,
So
that
just
stuff
if you-
is scary.
You want to make some money on the side?
Yeah, there you go, dude.
Paranormal will be like, hey, I bet I can get your TikTok back.
Maybe. I think I may know why. Why it was locked down or why it was hijacked.
Probably the same people that broke into Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Well, I was just about to. There, like that's getting pretty bad, actually. Like it's yeah.
Illuminati. Is that what you're gonna say?
No. It's tied to a certain thing at our southern border, but it's fine.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty bad, but
whale
yeah,
sharks.
whale sharks. But anyways.
Anyways,
Sometimes I will, and people, and I will say we do need to talk about eventually the rest of the Conjuring House drama that we haven't talked about.
do what?
We haven't talked about the Conjuring House stuff either.
Oh yeah, no, that stuff's been flipping
It's
crazy too.
Pretty much just, I mean, I don't know anything else what's going to happen with it, but I know it's going to be shut down.
She said already that she's going to continue to run her business even without the license.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Good
You-
luck.
way to lose your place.
Right. All right. So enough of Hollywood. Well, not enough Hollywood, but enough of crazy drama. Let's get into some very weird and interesting fun things. To me, it's fun and interesting, but for everyone that knows, we all, when you go to see a movie or you see a trailer or something, you see the whole based on true events or based on a true story. Well, it's usually loosely with some generosities, exactly, with some generosities given.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say, over the years, audiences that like have been frightened by various horror
Oh, yeah.
films, and these audience members, people watching these films, that get super scared. Like they tell themselves, "It's only a film. It's only a film.
yeah, well,
How can things take a dark turn?" Well, a lot of this stuff is actually based on events that really happened, and a lot of these movies, and it's more than you actually think. A lot of these movies actually did come from or stem from some weird messed up incident, whether it's like a knife wielding killer or people being possessed by demonic spirits. And
yeah. Well, a couple honorable mentions we've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
Conjuring House, like we just talked about a little bit ago, Amityville Horror, stuff like that. And I'm sure I think there has been a movie made or a TV show, Lizzie Borden.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that, if you just stick with paranormal, like Fire in the Sky.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That whole movie is his recount. Was it recount?
Basically something that he
Why does
remembers.
that sound weird to me?
His
His
recount.
of the story. Yeah.
I'd say that his memory of the story or
Sorry,
his
guys,
memory
I'm
of the events or something that happened.
Yeah. The Conjuring films, Annabelle.
Yep.
What is the A Haunting in Connecticut?
Oh, definitely. That's a good one. Forgot about that one.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose was on Annalise Michael.
Yep.
The Exorcist was on the boy from the 1940s.
Yep.
But
The Poltergeist. I'm kidding. The Poltergeist was not one of them. I'm just kidding.
actually, it was. There's a little bit of it that actually did stem from some true events.
Huh. Okay. Well,
But
I called myself out without calling myself out.
what, Charles? But there's so many of them.
There are. Would you count that the Mothman effect?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one there too. The
Yeah,
Mothman
right.
Prophecies. I love that.
Mothman Prophecies. That's it. Not Mothman effect. Or is it?
No, it's Mothman
It's
Prophecies.
Mothman
You're thinking of Butterfly Effect.
Yes, that's it. It's with
That was a
Ashton
good one,
Kutcher, right?
Yeah.
Was he in that? Yeah, that was a good series of movies.
But Mothman Prophecies is one of my
Mhm.
favorite movies.
So good.
It's up there, man.
Yeah.
It's just so creepy and weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's different from everything else.
It's like a thriller. I would say it's more of a thriller, suspense.
Okay, in your vote right now,
Okay.
your top 3 horror movies.
Top 3?
Top 3.
Oh,
Obviously,
God.
your favorite being number 1.
Well, yeah. Damn. Can I put? Well, I'm gonna put 2 of them, like 2 universes together in my third spot. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Third spot to me is Conjuring and Insidious because I love James Wan. I love him. Fantastic director. Second, Terrifier 1 for sure. Love Terrifier 1. It's probably my favorite one. It is. Then the first all-time favorite.
All-time favorite.
Oh man, this is tough. This is gonna be super cheesy and it's gonna be super not well received. Freddy versus Jason. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever. It's not even a horror movie, man.
I mean, it's classified as a horror.
It's like more horror comedy than anything. I thought it was so hilarious. But
Freddy versus Jason. Your number
Yeah.
1. That's your number 1.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Terrifier is my number 1.
You don't have to change it because I'm laughing at you.
Dude, I don't know.
The rest of the world.
I wasn't a huge fan of the Nightmare series, and I wasn't a huge fan of the Friday the 13th. But when they brought them together, I thought it was just comedy gold. Loved it.
Yeah.
But I think Jason X is my favorite Jason movie. I love the space version of him. He's so funny, and the kills were top notch. I'm not a big I'm not a torture horror fan.
Yeah. I can see that.
I'm not a I almost said Final Fantasy, Final Destination fan. Really, I cannot stand those movies.
Yeah.
So I don't really have like a major. Oh, that's not true. Evil Dead's in there somewhere. Love Evil Dead. Just the whole series. Love it. This latest one, meh, but the whole series is fantastic. What about you?
For me, 3 is hard. 3 is a hard choice. I mean, I could probably put like the Conjuring universe in there because of the way it's filmed.
It's so good. The filming was fantastic.
Number 2, The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, put your guys in the chat too. Jerry has a good point. The Brood and Phantasm, nice. Phantasm was good. I will say that one. Actually, horror movie that caught me off guard. Hellraiser. Watched that way too young. Way too young.
My number 1. So my number 2 is The Thing. The John Carpenter one. But number 1 for me is the 1968 George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, that is good. That is so good. A movie that I didn't even think of, and I should have, and now I just forgot it. But no, that's not a horror movie. Get out of here. It's got vampires, but it's not it's just like Twilight. It's not a freaking horror movie.
It's Twilight, isn't it?
It's about people that stalk a chick. Okay, it's literally what it's about.
I Spit on Your Grave.
Those are good.
The first one was good.
Yeah,
the
first
rest of them.
The remakes. Are you talking about the remake?
Well, the remake was good too.
Yes. Entity's good. Nosferatu. Oh, I love Nosferatu, Jess. I'm trying to get him to watch the typo negative version of Nosferatu. If you haven't listened to that yet either, Jess, I definitely recommend it.
Ooh, 30 Days of Night. That was really good.
I was 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts, pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
such
good.
a good one.
So there's a lot out there, guys.
There's a lot of great
And
source material out there for great movies.
so I'm going to jump into an obviously
Yeah, go for it.
famous movie, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
And I know what you might be thinking, like, how can a guy who made your dreams
yeah.
be based on a real event? You can't
Well-
base somebody's dreams. Well, I mean, there's a subject we'll get on to.
Wes Craven had some inspiration.
He had a lot of inspiration, honestly.
true.
So, A Nightmare on Elm Street contains many biographical elements from director Wes Craven's childhood. The film was inspired by several newspaper articles, and we just lost Charles. Scared him off. All right, I'm just going to keep going. He'll have to join in. The film was inspired by several newspaper articles printed in the LA Times in the 1970s about Hmong refugees who, after fleeing to the United States because of war. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Wrong button, huh?
No, well, yes, but not exiting I didn't click out a tab.
Okay.
Excellent.
Let me
Press the
backtrack a little bit here.
Sorry. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. User operator error.
All right. So, Nightmare on Elm Street contains many biographical elements from director Wes Craven's childhood. The film was inspired by several newspaper articles printed in the LA Times in the 1970s about Hmong refugees who, after fleeing to the United States because of war and genocide in Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, suffered disturbing nightmares and refused to sleep. Some of the men died in their sleep soon after. Medical authorities called the phenomenon Asian death syndrome. The condition afflicted men between the ages of 19 and 57 and was believed to be sudden unexplained death syndrome or Brugada syndrome, or both. Craven stated it was a series of articles in the LA Times, 3 small articles about men from Southeast Asia who were from immigrant families and had died in the middle of nightmares, and the paper never correlated them. Never said, hey, we have another story like this. The 1970s pop song Dreamweaver, ooh, Dreamweaver, by Gary Wright sealed the story for Craven, giving him not only an artistic setting to jump off from, but a synthesizer riff for the movie soundtrack.
Ooh,
I never put those two together.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Craven has also stated that he drew some inspiration for the film from Eastern religions. Other sources attribute to the inspiration for the film to be a 1968 student film project made by Craven's students at Clarkson University. The student film parodied contemporary horror films and was filmed along Elm Street in Potsdam, New York. The film's villain, Freddy Krueger, is drawn from Craven's early life. One night, a young Craven saw an elderly man on the side path outside the window of his home. The man stopped to glance at a startled Craven and walked off. Just creepy anyway. This served as the inspiration for Krueger. Initially, Fred Krueger was intended to be a child molester, but Craven eventually characterized him as a child murderer to avoid being accused of exploiting a spate of highly publicized child molestation cases that occurred in California around the time of the film's production.
Probably a good idea.
On that note, real quick, that remake that got done with the dude that wasn't Robert Englund,
Yeah.
this might be why they changed his behavior and stuff to be kind of like a child predator.
More of a predator. Okay, gotcha. More creepy.
Yeah, because that was the original intent. On Freddy's nature, Craven states that, in a sense, Freddy stands for the worst of parenthood and adulthood.
I mean, real quick. To be fair, though, Freddy did some pretty risque things with what were considered, or like it was implied risque with teenagers.
Yeah.
So I would still consider him a child predator, and even in the early ones, for sure.
He goes on to say, in a sense, Freddy stands for the worst of parenthood and adulthood. the dirty old man, the nasty father, and the adult who wants children to die rather than help them prosper. He's the boogeyman and the worst fear of children.
Literally, dude, the worst kind.
The adult that's out to get them. He's a very primal figure, sort of like Kronos devouring his children. That evil, twisted, perverted father figure that wants to destroy and is able to get them at their most vulnerable moment, which is when they're asleep. By Craven's account, his own adolescent experiences led him to the name Fred Krueger. He had been bullied at school by a child named Fred Krueger. Craven had done the same thing in his film The Last House on the Left, which is actually a pretty good film too, where the villain's name was shortened to Krug. Craven chose to make Krueger's sweater red and green after reading an article in a 1982 Scientific American that said these two colors were the most clashing colors to the human retina.
I'm sorry. What? Jess just said Freddy is awful. I don't know why so many women have a crush on him.
I don't know
What?
who's got a crush on him.
That's what I just said. What sick, demented women do you know? Because I mean, like I know,
Like, I want to know them.
right? Like I'm so curious about this, but like I know, like there's women that have a crush on Ted Bundy just because like the dude looks like a handsome gentleman. Like I get that, but what? I've never heard that before.
Or do you mean Robert Englund?
Oh,
Robert Englund.
maybe it's Robert Englund. Yeah, maybe it's Robert Englund, the actor, like the guy who plays Freddy, or literally Freddy's character. Because that's just sick. That's really sick. Anyways,
all right. So Craven strove to make Krueger different from the other horror film villains of the era. In 2014, he recalled a lot of the killers were wearing masks. Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jason. I wanted my villain to have a mask, but be able to talk and taunt and threaten. So I thought of him being burned and scarred. He also said the killer should use something other than a knife because it was too common.
so Edward Scissorhand route. Got it.
So I thought, how about a glove with steak knives? I gave the idea to our special effects guy, Jim Doyle. Ultimately, 2 models of the glove were built. The hero glove that was only used whenever anything needed to be cut, and the stunt glove that was less likely to cause injury.
Well, that's good.
For a time, Craven had considered a sickle as a weapon of choice for the killer, but around the 3rd or 4th drafts of the script, the iconic glove had become his final choice.
You know, and I bet it's a dominance thing. I bet that's what it is, the helpless dominance thing. Because that is a big weird fantasy out there for women. I'm just saying that is a big thing. But yeah, no, absolutely, Jerry. That's a very good point. that's a very good point. Yeah, that's. I'm sure she's met I'm sure she's met plenty of pretty sick and twisted people. All right, haven't we all met pretty sick and twisted people?
Maybe we all are sick individuals and
in our own demented way.
I got a spot on my screen that's just driving me crazy. Okay,
you gotta scratch that spot.
I scratched it off. My finger.
I'll call you the Tingler. What?
The tickler?
No, the Tingler. It's one of the Jess made a comment and said Vincent Price's The Tingler was an amazing movie too. I know it sounds dirty, but it isn't at all. The Tingler is just what the monster's called. That's got to be like Diddy's alter ego. It's the Tingler. Instead of the Diddler, it's the Tingler. I don't know. I like Diddler better personally, but
Diddler would be his character in a Batman movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because the Joker and Diddler, it's perfect.
His hat would look like the tip of a. Anyway.
Oh my god. Just carries like bottles and bottles of lube on him.
Everybody, you know the Diddler was there, and you step in the room and you slip.
The Diddler strikes again.
I just pull the back muscle.
No,
go in the backstroke.
So oh god. Oh, is this a pool? What is this? Anyways,
he's like, I'll show you a backstroke.
Oh god.
All right.
Oh, speaking of that, I didn't know this, but if you go watch, I think it's Austin Powers Goldmember.
Yeah, I've seen it. It says E Diddy.
E Diddy. Oh,
yeah,
god.
On his butt cheek. That was at the height of his popularity. I mean, come on.
It's still funny that it's right there, though.
Well,
that's a whole other topic you and I need to talk about. But anyways, anyways.
I think it's more coincidental.
Yes, Jess, we are horrible people. You met us. Thank you. Thank you.
I like you. All right, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna get in. Let's do this. Let's talk about The Sacrament. So, if you haven't seen The Sacrament before, it's an anxiety-riddled film inspired by the Jonestown Massacre. Fashion photographer Patrick Kentucky Audley gets a letter from his troubled sister Caroline declaring she has joined a cult. Intending to shoot a documentary, Patrick heads to the belly of the beast. His cohort immediately senses something is off about the commune and basically oversees the father. The Sacrament is an underseen entry in the found footage canon, one more somber than most of director Ty West's work, eschewing the heightened tone of his Mia Goth-led X trilogy and The House of the Devil. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. For something far less polished, but still tightly wound. We just when we were talking about horror movies, we completely skipped anything Rob Zombie. Didn't even think about it. I didn't even think. That's nuts. So the true story, obviously, we'll talk about Jamestown murder here just real quick. Okay. Don't work for me, mouse. What the hell?
Nope.
So the recording of this whole thing says it all. I don't care how many screams you hear. I don't care how many anguished cries. Death is 1,000,000 times preferable to 10 more days of this life, which is the voice of Jim Jones, the founder of the People's Temple, as he set the infamous 1978 mass suicide in motion. The inciting incident of the cult's demise was a California congressman traveling to Guyana, to investigate the realities of Jonestown, bringing various media members with him. Most of them were subsequently killed by Jones's entourage. Realizing their days were outnumbered, Jones set the massacre in motion, and as we know, the rest of the story is tragedy.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, but I don't have a shot. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
Kool-Aid?
No, no new Kool-Aid. Drinking the Kool-Aid. No, I don't have anything next to me right now that I want to. Yeah, but it's fine.
Okay. I'm just drinking Mountain Dew. That's been open all day.
I was gonna say it's sitting there. It's a little flat, but
it's flat. It's been open all day.
Yeah, there you go. But so, and that's another one too. If you guys haven't looked into, which I'm sure a lot of you have, that if you're listening to us, you probably have heard about the Jonestown Massacre. Just a cult. There's so many cults out there, and I know that doesn't really it's not really horror, but that movie was a horror movie. To be fair,
yeah.
To be fair, Tusk is a good one too.
The next one I have, I don't know. You could probably classify it as a horror movie because I mean, if you include fear into as a horror element, this would cause a lot of fear. Would you consider Jaws a horror movie?
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. It's the same way that I would count Piranha as a horror movie. I would count Sharknado as a horror. It's a horror comedy, but it's still a horror movie. Yeah.
So this one right here that I'm about to talk about follows along the line because it is animal based. But typically this one's categorized as more of suspense, thriller. I would put it in a horror genre too, because
that's very true, Kelly. A lot of people of Jonestown were murdered, held down, and injected against their will. It's a very good point. Sorry.
Let's go investigate that facility.
That would be nuts.
So this movie, and this is one of my favorite movies, probably top 10, top 15, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And it's called The Ghost and the Darkness. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, and if you haven't, I suggest you go watch this movie. Great movie.
That's gonna be one that I have to watch soon.
The Ghost in the Darkness is a 1996 American historical adventure film. It could be considered horror. If it has that effect, I'm not gonna go fuck around out in Africa.
It's a big no for me, dog.
After you watch this, you're like, oh, nope. Directed by Stephen Hopkins and starring Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. The screenplay, written by William Goldman, is a fictionalized account of the Tsavo man-eaters, a pair of male lions that terrorized workers in and around Tsavo, Kenya during the building of the Uganda-Mombasa Railway in East Africa in 1898. So this is going to be a long one, guys. In 1896, the British decided to construct a railroad in their East African colony, running from the coastal port city of Mombasa in modern-day Kenya, all the way to Lake Victoria, and then on to Uganda. Officially named the Uganda Railroad, it was mocked by critics as the Lunatic Line, and was said to run from nowhere to nowhere. The British colonists hoped that the railroad would encourage people to move into the interior of Africa and would provide a method of transporting trade products between Africa and Europe. Thousands of laborers, called coolies, were imported from India to build the railroad, which would cover about 580 miles, cross several rivers and valleys, and take over 30 years to complete. Reaching Nairobi in 1899, Kisumu on the shore of Lake Victoria in 1901, and Kampala, Uganda in 1928. It was considered a shining symbol of modern British progress in the civilization of what was then known as the Dark Continent. In February of 1898, 2 years into its construction, the railroad line had reached the Tsavo River in Kenya, 130 miles northwest of Mombasa. A temporary bridge was built to allow the track to cross the river and continue being built on the other side. In March, British Army Colonel John Henry Patterson was brought in from India to oversee the construction of a permanent railroad bridge across the river. The river valley was about 100 yards wide. Patterson began by locating a source of suitable stone and 3 miles away and building a small tram line to the bridge site. These stones would be used to form foundation piers in the riverbed, upon which the bridge pillars would be constructed. Meanwhile, construction of the actual railway continued. Because of this, several thousands of workers were scattered in a string of camps along the railroad over a distance of some 20 miles, and Patterson was responsible for all of them. Within just a few days of Patterson's arrival, people began to disappear. At first, Patterson didn't believe the natives who told him that there was a lion attacking the workers. Quickly, however, reports of lion sightings began coming in, and the remains of dead workers began to be found. It became clear that there were at least 2 lions involved. Every few days, one of the lions would strike at one of the scattered campsites, then another, attacking horses, donkeys, goats, cattle, and people. The Indian workers constructed protective fences around their camps, known as a bama, not Obama, made from the thorny branches of acacia trees, and kept campfires burning all night. But still, the lions found their way through. In one incident, one of the lions clawed its way into a tent and attacked a sleeping worker, but in the confusion, dragged away the worker's mattress instead. When it realized its mistake, the lion dropped the mattress and ran off. By April, the railroad rails extended some 40 miles away from Tsavo, and only a few hundred workers remained behind to construct the bridge. They were concentrated into a number of camps at the bridge site, and this is where the lions now began to concentrate their hunts. Patterson spent several nights perched in a tree with his rifle, hoping to spot the lions, but couldn't find them. One night, one of the lions broke into the hospital tent and dragged away one of the patients. Patterson decided to move the hospital tent to a different spot, but the next night, the lion returned to the new location and dragged the water carrier out of the hospital. His head and one of his hands were found the next morning. Patterson then moved the hospital tent again and placed a railroad car with some cattle inside at the old location. Accompanied by the camp doctor, he stayed up all night with his rifle, hoping the lion would return. And it did. The lion managed to get into the boxcar and kill one of the cattle, but couldn't figure out how to drag the body out through the fence. Instead, it began to stalk Patterson and the doctor. When it attacked, Patterson managed to wound it in the mouth with a rifle shot, breaking off one of the canine teeth. After that, the lions apparently left the area for a few weeks. Patterson later learned that they had been raiding one of the construction camps at the railroad, which was now many miles away. Assuming they would be back, Patterson constructed a mechanical trap inside the railway car that would drop a set of iron bars if anything entered. For several nights in a row, Patterson himself was the bait, spending the night inside the boxcar to try to lure one of the lions in. That's ballsy.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, the lions were back. One of the cats entered a boma and dragged one of the workers out, where he was joined by the second lion. They ate the worker just 30 yards away from the camp. For the next several months, the lions would periodically return to make another kill. On December 1st, most of the workers boarded one of the trains and left. Only a small number remained behind to finish the bridge. 2 days later, the superintendent of police arrived with 20 men to help hunt down the lions. That night, one of the lions finally entered the boxcar trap, but despite a number of shots being fired at it from close range, was able to get out. The police superintendent and his men spent several days looking for the lions with no success. They left after providing Patterson with a high-powered hunting rifle.
There you go.
On December 9th, one of the lions killed a donkey, and as it ate, Patterson instructed a group of workers to approach it, making as much noise as possible to drive it into the open. When the lion emerged, Patterson managed to wound it with a rifle. Expecting that the lion would return that night to his kill, Patterson built a wooden platform and waited. The lion indeed returned, but ignored the dead donkey and approached Patterson instead. Patterson killed it with 2 rifle shots. One lion remained, and a few nights later, it attacked 2 goats. I didn't lose audio, did I?
No, you're still here, bud.
Okay. It gave me a notification.
That you lost audio?
Anyway.
Okay.
Said something else. One lion remained, and a few nights later, it attacked 2 goats. Patterson set out 3 more goats as bait, tying them to a short section of railroad tie, and waited. The lion returned, killed one of the goats, then dragged the entire railroad tie. Yeah. Still attached to the goat. Drug it away.
Wow.
Yeah. Patterson's shots missed. This guy needs lessons. The next morning, Patterson and a group of workers followed the trail and found the lion, which ran off. Patterson built another wooden platform, and when the lion returned that night, wounded it with 2 shots. For the next 10 days, nothing happened, and Patterson concluded that the lion had died of its wounds. Then, the lion returned and made an unsuccessful attack on a worker sleeping in a tree. That night, Patterson lay in ambush in the same tree, and when the lion returned, wounded it twice more. In the morning, they followed the blood trail and found the lion, which charged at them. Patterson killed it with 2 more shots. It was December 29th of 1898. The 2 African lions... hang on one second.
We're waiting.
I know.
I keyed.
So, the 2 African lions, known locally as the Ghost and the Darkness, killed a number of workers on the East African Railroad. For years, there was much debate over just how many people the 2 lions actually killed over the 9-month period, with estimates running from the railroad company's figure of 28 to Patterson's figure of 135.
My gosh.
Today, the mounted taxidermy skins of the 2 lions are on display in the Field Museum in Chicago, and there they are.
That's dope.
Those are the lions.
Hell yeah, dude. That's pretty sweet.
I would never go to Africa. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Too many things that would kill me there. Like,
Not just the lions, but all the cannibals too.
Yeah. Yep.
Lions, tigers, bears. Oh my! No thanks.
Maybe
I
no bears.
couldn't do it. Yeah, not bears. Not in Africa.
Not Africa. We got the
Man, bear, pig. What?
Africa.
Good song. All right, so here's another one. Here's one that people don't talk about. The town that dreaded sundown. Da-da-da. The movie was shot on location in Texarkana, Texas, and features many locals in small parts, imbuing the movie with a queasy realism. It is fictionalized to be sure. Oh, and I forgot to say that movie came out in like the 70s, so like 1976. So it was an older movie for sure. The cops, what?
I'm just laughing at Jessica's.
Oh,
she's like, I can go back in a heartbeat. I'm like,
no way, Jose. So the cops that investigated, or that the cops investigating the case, were likely not bumbling, nor did the film's most excessive sequence, in which the so-called Phantom Slayer dispatches a victim with a bladed trombone, occur in real life. Yet again, wow, I'm gonna just not read ever again. Yet a great deal of the movie mimics a case file with staccato narration and a ripped from the headless urgency. Okay, sure. So the story goes that in 1946, 4 vicious killings known as the Texarkana Moonlight Murders shocked the region surrounding the Texas and Arkansas border. The victims were young people attacked in a popular Lover's Lane destination. Police arrested 29-year-old thief and carjacker Yule Swinney after a car he had stolen was found near one of the crime scenes. Swinney's wife, Peggy, gave detailed account of the murders, implicating her husband and providing details known to the public. After her story changed several times, Peggy was branded an unreliable witness. The police had circumstantial information, but little concrete evidence tying her husband to the slayings. He was ultimately sentenced to life in prison for not the murders, but for his habitual car thieving. So what if she was just like, my husband's a piece of shit, take him away? It's the classic, bring out your dad. I'm not a murderer. Oh yeah. He killed him with this, Your Honor. I swear I saw it. The bloody corpses in the barn. Yeah.
Oh no,
it'd be fantastic. But that one though, I came across that one and I thought it was kind of funny. But if you haven't seen that movie, it is a good movie. It's a good old movie.
No, that kind of reminds me of the movie The Hitchhiker.
Oh, good movie.
That movie was actually based on a serial killer here out of Joplin, Missouri.
Oh,
good. Billy Cook is his name. He went to Missouri State Pen for a time. When he got out, he killed a couple people in Joplin, hid their bodies down a mine shaft, and moved to California. Well, on his way to California, I think he killed somebody else by hitchhike. He was hitchhiking, got picked up, killed them around Arizona or something like that. Disposed of their body. Lived in California for a little bit, and then he decided to come back. Hitchhiked, killed a couple more people, and then a car broke down or something. Hitchhiked again, and a family, I think of 5, picked him up, and he killed them as soon as they got to Joplin, I think it was, or there in Oklahoma. But his body is buried in Joplin at a certain cemetery. I can show you. It's an unmarked grave, but I can show you where it's at.
All right.
There's only a few people that know where his actual grave's at.
Of course, you're one of the weirdos that does.
Yes. I happen to have met some people that had tapes of his funeral. He didn't have like a big public funeral or nothing like that. It was kind of a hush-hush funeral. They recorded tapes of it, and the sheriff, the priest, and his mom were the only ones in attendance. And he found out where the location of the body was from the priest.
Oh wow!
And the priest is no longer alive.
Took it to his grave
Yeah,
in a way.
in a way.
In a
but,
way.
But yeah, the movie The Hitchhiker is based off of Billy Cook.
Okay,
So that's
interesting.
fun facts.
I'm sure there's plenty of cannibals out there.
So I did an episode of Haunting History at the cemetery, Peace Church Cemetery, or it's actually Peace Cemetery, but people call it Peace Church because there used to be a church there too. But I trying to think because this was like season 1.
Wow,
early 1 or 2 of Haunting History. I think I may actually. I'm not going to say where, but I think I might have a shot of his grave.
Oh, that's cool.
In the video.
Creepy, but cool.
Yeah. Another one that this is stylistically and the thought of this happening puts this up there for one of the best horror movies, I think. The Strangers.
Great movie.
Friggin' awesome movie. According to The Strangers writer and director Brian Bertino, the film's true story is primarily based on 3 real-life happenings.
Yeah.
The first inspiration of this series of murders committed by the Manson family in 1969, later nicknamed Helter Skelter. The killings were organized? What the hell? See, I shouldn't be able to read anymore.
What the hell?
What the hell? The killings were organized by Charles Manson in an ill-conceived bid to start a race war that the cult leader himself had predicted. That's how you get your predictions to come true. You just cause them to happen.
Exactly.
In particular, the Manson family's brutal killing of actress Sharon Tate at her own LA home stands out as a clear inspiration for The Strangers, which boasts gruesome stabbings of its own. One night when a young Bertino's parents weren't home, someone knocked on the door and asked for someone who didn't live there. And if you've ever seen the movie, it's just creepy when they're like, "Is such and such here?"
Right.
No, they don't live here. Are they here? No, nobody here by the name. Now that scene's like, that's a creepy scene. The second inspiration for The Strangers' true story is the 1981 Ketty Cabin murders, which saw 4 people killed in a small California resort town. Disturbingly, the motive for those murders is still unknown, as the Ketty Police Department never caught the real-life killer or killers. Even now, the case remains unsolved. Obvious similarities to The Strangers' premise abound, with the 3 masked assailants in The Strangers wandering off into the morning chill after massacring a couple simply because they were home. The third and final slice of real-life inspiration for The Strangers derives from Bertino's own experience. One night, when a young Bertino's parents weren't home, someone knocked on the door and asked for someone who didn't live there. Unlike in The Strangers, however, the would-be burglars were knocking on doors to rob houses that were empty for the night instead of attacking people inside their homes. Still, the experience left an indelible mark on Bertino, and that later morphed into the terrifying portrait of random violence that The Strangers movie depicts. So
wild.
I feel like I've heard about that before. Like that was a thing like a long time ago. Like I want to say in the 90s or even the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I feel like that was something that was happening. I don't know why. I just
could be
like near me. Like, cause yeah, anyway,
could be.
Never know. All right, guys. So based off of true events, true stories, what movie do you think impacted you the most that you've seen with a true story? Leave it in the comment section. We'll thumbs up it. I think that'll do for our show.
Tough for me because I really loved the Ah, man, I love the exorcism of Emily Rose. It was so good.
Dude, that's the most terrifying part of that whole movie is knowing it's knowing that the audio file that they play in the courtroom is that the actual recording of her exorcism.
Yeah.
Of Annalise Michael. They use the actual recording.
Yeah.
That to me is the most terrifying part of that movie.
It's so wild. Like, I mean, I remember first just seeing all the cracks and it was like,
Church, like,
yeah, literally just it was so good. So good.
why is it in every Exorcist movie like they got to bend backwards?
Because it's abnormal. We're used to seeing people bend forward but not backward. And anything inspired by Richard Ramirez isn't terrifying. Yes, absolutely, Jess.
Child's Play.
That's gross.
Child's Play, the movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I was making a pun.
It's a good movie.
Based on a true story.
A doll coming to life and killing kids?
Well, I think the person that did the murdering, I want to say it was Richard Ramirez that they based it off of. They based it off of an occultist, though. I'll have to look it up now.
These darn creators stealing all the ideas from the actual killers. What the hell?
Yeah. Let me see here.
What's wrong with them? But a few honorable mentions that we didn't talk about, but I'll go ahead and say here. American Crime. I already said Exorcism, Emily Rose. Okay. Open Water. It's a shark movie. Wolf Creek. Amityville Horror. We talked about that one. Talked about The Strangers. Compliance. Dead Ringers.
Okay, so...
And then the rest, pretty much. Zodiac.
The Lakeshore Strangler is a likely nod, but they also say that could be the Boston Strangler, who murdered at least 11 women in the early 60s.
Wow.
Was the inspiration for Chucky.
Well, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there been ever an inspiration from Jack the Ripper?
I mean, fuck, there was a Jack the Ripper movie, but
right, but like there was never like anybody in history was like, oh yeah, I based my stuff off this, because it makes sense. Dirty in the movie, he needs to sue them. Jess says in Exorcist they did Suzu dirty. He needs to exercise. They need to sue him. Is Zuzu the demon?
Yeah, I don't know if that's how it's spelled though.
How do they do him dirty? I'm confused.
The makeup was horrible.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that was
he's not such a bad guy.
Yeah, just like Freddy Krueger, not such a bad guy. Crazy.
I don't see anything that's based off Jack the Ripper. There's a lot of Jack the Ripper movies apparently.
Well, to be fair, you could to me when I think about this, when I think of Sweeney Todd, I think of what's his name?
Not
Jack the Ripper.
Edward Scissorhands?
No.
Of course he could have been the barber.
The guy that H.H. Holmes. Freaking A. Because he had like little contraptions in his house. So anyways.
Well, you know what they say, Jessica. One culture's God is another culture's demon.
Facts. How do you know it's just not a demon all around?
And they just worshipped a demon.
Exactly.
Oh, there are some movies.
Like aliens today were the gods of yesterday, and people just worship demons. Keep them safe from other demons. You said it. Other demons.
Thanks one to no one.
Exactly. But I'm sure that there's been like inspiration for things that has come from other things as well. Oh,
From Hell. That's the name.
Oh gosh. Well, I know somebody made a book based off of what is it, Devil in the White City? Wasn't that made from H.H. Holmes?
Don't know.
There's been media out there, but Jess says he is a demon, but more like Eastern version where a demon could be good or evil.
With a name like Captain Howdy, I mean, how can you be evil?
The name like Annabelle, how could you be evil?
Yeah. See, we give them like pleasant names, and turns out they just want to like make our lives miserable and kill us.
Dicks.
Yeah, dicks.
A bunch of.
This demon's a dick. Banging at all times of the night.
Let me just bust out my lesser keys of Solomon here. Anyways,
cut to you. Boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to sleep.
God, leave me alone.
Knock it off. Put on TV or something.
I told you only when we have guests over. Fuck.
God. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Never ever one. Never ever.
He's gonna be demonically haunted.
Well, that's why, right? That's why, to me, like these paranormal investigators, oh, it's a demon. Like, really? Or it's this cryptid. Yeah, okay, sure.
You know what we do? Here's what we do. I got our get rich quick scheme. Maybe not so quick, but quick enough.
Okay.
We're gonna buy a location. We're gonna claim it's haunted by demons.
Oh.
We're gonna get all these YouTubers to come in and say it's haunted by demons. And then we make a movie script about a demon haunting this location. And then we make a movie.
Boom, done. Can't make a book or anything because that won't sell.
Yeah, who reads anymore?
Right? Jesus. So stupid. It's perfect.
It'll work. It's bound to work. And you know what? We'll be on another episode of Boogeyman Radio talking about this as a movie that was inspired by true events.
That's yep. Wait, Richard, a step has a book on this?
E-step.
I know that. I thought a S step.
E-step.
Huh.
E-step, U-step, U-step, I-step.
Okay, sure.
That's what his name is. Anyway.
Did he tell you himself?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Just like Travis Kelce is Kels.
What keeps popping?
I don't know.
Are you like playing with something over there?
No, it's just me. I'm just chilling.
I keep hearing like a.
Oh, maybe my soundboard's messed up or something.
I don't know. It reminds me of like playing like a Pong or something. You hit
Maybe you're just going crazy.
Well, maybe.
You guys hearing it too? Because I'm not hearing it.
Might be the drugs. I don't know.
It might be the drugs. Very good point. It might be the drugs.
I mean, I've actually been off the drugs for a couple days now. Thank you.
Thank goodness. But I will say, we do have. This is kind of random. We do have some Christmas stuff planned for this. Well, Christmas-esque stuff planned for this month. So hang.
I'm going to ask you something before we went on, but since we're on this right now, let me just put it out there. The Monday before Christmas.
Yes.
Why don't we do a Christmas-themed paranormal game night? Just make something fun for everybody. Brighten up the holidays. See, Jess,
I'll be out of town. I'll be gone.
What, you cunt?
Wow, just straight up C word. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, are we in Australia now, mate?
Jess has been hearing it. Jerry's been hearing it. The pop sound.
No, Jerry said only himself.
No, he says I hear it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Jess says I've been hearing it.
Dude, I swear to you, I'm not hearing it. So I don't know. I think it's maybe because if you're hearing it and I'm not hearing it, what could it be from? Maybe something in my sound system then?
Maybe. Notifications?
No, there's no way. Our notifications you would definitely hear. Like, oh, my notifications, like any tabs or anything? No?
Yeah.
Nothing like that makes any noise unless it's this one. But
Are you finger popping your a-hole?
first off, wouldn't sound like that. What? No, it's definitely not it. But
It's kind of like that.
we a side note here. I do want to do some
Pop that pussy. Hey, pop that pussy, Charles. Pop that pussy.
Isn't that a song?
Yes, it is. Do
Right,
Live
that's something. I can't think. Anyways,
from
whatever.
Do Live Crew.
That's it. That's the one. Can't do anything nice. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Popping his cherry over there.
it. That's. I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna say what I was just gonna say.
Don't call him red because
Anyways, Christmas. Yes, that's December. Wonderful, awesome times. Yeah,
great brand.
yeah. We're gonna do some stuff this month.
Well, then since you'll be gone, maybe I'll just get
I won't actually be gone.
you'll be like too busy for us. I'll just get us a guest co-host.
Actually, you may not. You may have a date that night. You never know.
No, you
Christmas
won't.
nights. It's Christmas season. Just saying, if you know,
It's not Christmas Eve. It's like
Christmas
Monday.
season. Christmas season.
I know.
Well, if I date someone that only has a Monday night off or a Tuesday night, sorry.
I'll get a guest host.
Okay,
I'll
sure.
replace you.
All right, whatever. What's new? I'm used to it in my life.
Connor Biddle will join us. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. But I'm saying, like, if we work in a fun thing for everybody to enjoy, like a kickoff for the holiday, get everybody in a great mood for the holidays. I think that'll be fun. That'd be awesome.
That would be a lot of fun.
Have a few surprises.
That'd be a
that
lot
kind
of
of
fun.
thing.
Speaking of, if you haven't watched your favorite version of the Christmas Story yet, or not Christmas Story, but Christmas Carol, go do it.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna watch Scrooge tonight. It's either that one or it's the Muppets version. Yeah, Scrooge just so good. So
Bill
funny.
Murray.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. That one, and then obviously the Christmas Carol with the Muppets is one of my favorites. And then the Jim Carrey one was actually is it Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was pretty good too. That was actually creepier than I thought it was going to be.
It is.
We love you too, Cassie. We love you too. And love you too, Jerry. Yeah. But please join us next week. Same time, same place.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out what to do.
And thank you again to everybody that watches this after the live session. We would love for you to join us during our lives. It just everybody in the chat really adds to the conversation, and we can have some fun, like quick jokes and stuff. Like it's so much better when people join us. So please don't be afraid to join us on a Monday night at 8:00 if you got nothing going on. We'd love that to happen if you have the time. If not, thank you for watching and listening and watching afterwards. We really appreciate it.
Yes. With that note, thank you guys. Have a good night.